like and the reason that I wanted to touch on gaming, not only because you use a platform like Minecraft to present your visual and musical ideas. I wonder what gaming is like to you, and let me share what I feel like gaming is to me. Gaming to me, especially the type of games that I like, which are really like long form RPGs, where
Okay.
it really builds over time, and then you have to actually invest in it. And I really like a good story, and I know that gaming is different for different people, but for me, it's a tool to actually make sense and meaning of life. It's almost like reading a good story, a good fiction. That is gaming to me, and I see a lot of like really powerful like potential, for gaming, for games, as a medium, as an artistic medium. Like right now I'm playing, Witcher. Before that I was
Ooh,
playing like Fallout. And so these are
ooh.
these are really long ass games, and there's a lot of like like time investment in it. And so I wanted to ask you, what is gaming to you, or games, or video games? What is the art form to you? And how does it contribute to you as an
I
artist?
hold games the same value as I put into an album or into a piece of music or a piece of movies or film. Like I digest it kind of like that. It's like sometimes I feel like I'm plugging into an alternate reality, or
Mm,
if you put it in a movie perspective, it's like you're playing a movie that lasts for like what 1,000 hours, 100 hours.
right, right.
For the narrative driven games, of course, I always treat them like that. But have been like new games that sort of have a little bit of like a meta aspect to it. Like when you play open world survival games, especially something like Rust.
Mm-hmm.
Rust has no story technically. Or when I was playing it, there was no sort of story to it. But the story is created by the multiplayer aspect. Like
Mm,
when I started playing Rust, I never thought I'd get hooked on it. But it's like it's a game that sort of fucks with your mental. I mean, your concept of trust amongst people because it's like everyone you're playing against or with, you can't trust them. And of
mm.
course, one person will become the superpower in that server, and it's like everyone just has to gang up on that guy. So it creates its own lore because of the involvement of humans, and I feel like that's a different sort of way to look at gaming also because it's like
Hmm.
you're co-creating the lore together.
Yeah.
And the same, every Minecraft server is different because of the people who play on it. So I think I appreciate games that are meticulously designed with narrative, but also these other kinds of games where you have to survive and the narrative is created by the people playing. I think I love that too.
Hmm.
MMO are cool too because it's a balance of both. You're playing with people, but you're also following a story.
Right.
So I love this interplay of how game designers, game developers sort of create, you know, an experience, but also all of those experiences are seeding ideas that are also based on either sometimes mythology, sometimes based on the experiences of the game developers and the game designers.
Mm-hmm. I, I,
Well, go ahead.
I love when you said that, with Rust, you are actually co-creating the lore of the game in real time. And that's really a fascinating idea to me. As someone who grew up, I mean, I grew up in the 90s. I've been a PC gamer all my life. And the games that I
Yeah.
played were mostly like story driven games. And to hear you even talk about a lore that is being created in real time is so fucking fascinating to me. And I think you're actually teaching me something right now that I've never thought of. Like when I see these games that are like multiplayer, it's like, oh, like it's whatever, But then that's something that I didn't think about. That you're actually creating, like a story, a narrative, in real time.
Even even on Ark, I want to share with you some of my experiences because those games honestly are so dangerous, Mark, because of that aspect. It's like you're creating. My first formal survival game was Ark, so it's kind of like Rust and Minecraft, but the lore is based around dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
So you land in this sort of like beach shore, and then you have this like microchip implanted on your wrist, and you don't know what's happening. But basically, when I started this game, 5 minutes into the game, pro players are killing me, kicking my ass. So I had to rethink. It's like Dark Souls. You're dying over and over again, but you have to figure out what can you do in the next time you're reincarnated that will allow you to survive longer. So what I did
Mm.
was hide. I was just gathering all of the noobs. So everyone that was new to Ark, I would go to them, try to save them from people trying to killing them, make friends with them, build shelter. So later on, in the first few weeks, I already had this clan of people. We're all noobs.
Wow.
We're a lot of noobs together. And then slowly it became a family. We started adding each other on Steam. We had like playtime. We like arrange playtimes where we all come on together. We're from different time zones. And then later on, it's like we can actually survive together because some people are. I've been assigning roles. Suddenly, I became the leader of this group when I was just trying to save people. So I was like their mother. They were always calling me their mother. So I was the one in charge of food and making clothes for people while everyone else that had better computers was going out hunting, fighting other people.
Mm.
So this is interesting. This is what developed the idea that you can have sort of like these relationships inside these games, like social relationships. It's like or symbiosis, like having to need each other, having to
Mhm.
sort of have an ecosystem. And then it ported later on when I started playing Rust with people I actually knew. The same thing. It's like having to like need each other, planning around how to survive. It's just such an amazing process because even in Rust, I was able to like create this sort of dependence. People depended on my base because I created a mini stop, a convenience store inside Rust, where people had to like go to me to buy weapons. I had a farm to table like restaurant. Like I was growing corn on my rooftop, and like I had vending machines and casinos.
Nice.
So this is so crazy because it's like imagine like there's no really set story, and it's up to
Mm.
you, and it's like
Yeah.
up to what you. There are also people who love playing as teams, and there are people who are crazy alone. They just like kill everyone and hide and like find their way to. I love how it has infinite play styles.
Ah,